Good afternoon, traders. It is Friday, January 24th, 2020, and the U.S. stock market is closed. Hey, this Friday kind of had the flavor of a Freaky Friday, but it wasn't terrible. We closed out negative $3,800. That was bad, but we got into four, or rather five positions. One was a holdover, and we have four positive, one negative, but we're carrying $9,100 in open trade equity over the weekend going into Monday. The Dow had a rough day. Um, it opened positive, actually pretty strong positive, but immediately started selling off, and it got way down here, then had a little rally the last 90 minutes or so, officially closing down 170 points. Okay, what I hear is that this had to do with the coronavirus in China. And I read just a little more about this. Kind of interesting. I'm not going to go in great detail on it, but apparently this killed another 16 people yesterday in a single city in China. And this is just kind of an interesting fact. I had first read that this disease started from disease that was transferred from wild animals, but today I found out that the wild animals are kind of interesting. The Chinese in this city were eating snakes and bats. If you can believe that, yes, that's part of their normal diet, apparently. And this is where the transmission of this disease started, and now it's mutated so it can be transferred from human to human, uh, I believe, airborne. So that makes us extremely dangerous. But the Chinese government has done a great deal to quarantine this city, and there's only one case of it that got into our country, and that person is being very much quarantined. So I don't know. I don't know what triggered this huge sell-off in the stock market, but CNN Business says it was the coronavirus. So we'll just have to see what happens there. Uh, okay, I'll show you three stocks today. It was a frustrating day. We had at times much better uh, positions than what we closed with, but I'll show you what we got. This was the one uh, one stock that was um, very frustrating. This is INO, which is Inovio Pharmaceuticals, and we had bought this yesterday, and it had actually closed against us yesterday, but then did this huge gap up this morning, which of course keeps us in the trade. But I kind of wish we had sold it, because right here at the top here, we are up on this thing $13,000 or $14,000, and then where we close today, and we're still hanging on to that thing, we're down to $5,000. So You know, we almost see our profits cut by 2/3 there. All I can say is I look at this chart and this isn't really a huge sell-off, and on Monday it could gap up again, it, because I'm sure that this gradual sell-off today had to do with people coming in and shorting this thing, thinking they're going to make a killing, and if we get involved in a short squeeze on Monday, this thing could shoot up again. So let's keep our fingers crossed. But as things stand right now, we have just over 5 grand in open trade profits in in Novio Pharmaceuticals. Okay, I'm going to show you another crazy stock we get involved in. Um, by the way, this is TBIX, which is Velocity Shares, but this is mirroring the performance of UVXY, which we also have. And this thing, we had bought at this yesterday on a, a little sell-off in the Dow, and then as the Dow gained strength all day, this stock sold off, and we were holding a fairly substantial loss in it on the close yesterday, and then we really got killed on the at or near the open this morning, and we took a $4,000 loss in this thing this morning, $4,200, and I just thought that's the end of TVIX for the day. But as the Dow started selling off, this moves inversely to the overall market. So as the Dow's selling off, this thing starts rising, and we get into the entry on the about halfway through the market day. Unbelievable. And the thing keeps going pretty good there, and we are holding $3,400 in open trade equity now in TVIX, and we have a similar position in UVXY. So we're going to make money on Monday if the Dow keeps going down, but we don't know what it's going to do. You know, this crazy thing can just reverse, particularly over a weekend, and if that happens, these stocks, TVIX and UVXY, are going to be down again, and we're basically screwed. But we'll just see. Okay, the third stock isn't. This is not a hair pulling stock like the first two I just showed you. This is HOV, which is Hovnanian Enterprises. I don't know. I believe this is a real estate company, but it has been really good to us. Um, we had exited this thing yesterday with a few $100s profit, and then it kept moving here, and we got re-entered with a couple hours to go. It closed profitably, but this is the main reason I'm showing you this thing. We actually sold this thing at the high of the day, if you can believe that. I've seen good trades we've had, but I've never really seen one. Honest to God, we sold it at the high of the day, and we took $3,400 in profit out of Hovnanian Enterprises. And then, of course, it sold off big time. And, of course, if we'd been a buy and holder, we would have been holding this at a significant loss at the end of the day. But no, we got out at the high of the day. So that was a fun trade. Glad to see. I wish we could get all of them like that. Of course, that'd be impossible. Okay, that's the way it went. I'm laughing because I actually kind of had fun today, uh, in spite of the coronavirus and the bat eaters. So, you guys have a fantastic weekend, and I'll be back here trading as usual on Monday.